Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Simply Nerdy. This is Anthony hosting today, and I'm joined by David and Lisa.
Hey.
Hey, everyone.
So, and Stephen is unable to join us today, but we really wanted to talk about the recent Nintendo Direct that aired just a few days ago, as of the time of recording. And to kind of talk about what we thought of the Direct overall, what our favorite announcements were, or just spotlights, and I guess just what we're most excited for. I have to laugh. First of all, the way they started off was deceptively strong, and it could still be good. I tuned in as the Direct was airing live, and the first thing I saw was Fire Emblem, and I admit I got pretty darn excited because I enjoyed Three Houses pretty well.
I mean, it's a Warriors game.
It's a and that's what I'm saying. That's the background I'm giving here. Is that
that you were excited and then you're like, oh.
Yeah.
With this Fire Emblem, the sad thing too is that there was a lot of rumors leading up to the Direct, like, oh, a new Fire Emblem game, right? And people were getting excited about that. There was like rumors about it being potentially a remake of a previous Fire Emblem game. So there was Fire Emblem. It just wasn't what was rumored or what people necessarily wanted. But that doesn't mean it won't. That doesn't mean it won't be worth playing. I enjoyed the first Fire Emblem Warriors pretty well.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything against Warriors games. I really enjoyed the original Hyrule Warriors, particularly. I really liked that game. They just don't tend to be as big budget or as groundbreaking as the standard releases for a given franchise. We'll see. It could still be good. It definitely looks like it doesn't look like a sequel to me. It looks like an alternate story. But I guess we'll see how that goes. Okay, so moving on, because we've got a lot to talk about, not a ton of time. So the next big one that I was pretty excited about was the announcement of Mario Strikers Battle League. I feel like we've been hearing a lot of rumors bumping around the rumor mill about this one. It's really exciting that delivering on this. I played the original Mario Strikers on the GameCube, and I found it to be very addictive in its gameplay loop.
I was gonna say that I never personally played any of the Mario Strikers games. I've still been able to get the impression that it has its really dedicated fans, like people that are just for a long time have been saying, "Give us a new Mario Strikers game," right? Mm-hmm. But in this case, like, they obviously are putting a strong twist on it. They're adding elements that you wouldn't be able to do in real life in sports, so that always makes it a lot more fun to me.
I mean, I can't jump like 20 feet in the air and kick a ball and make it catch on fire.
Yeah, and you can't.
And score 2 goals in one kick.
Yeah.
and you can't throw weapons at your opponent.
No, and honestly, let's be honest though, that's the reason I'm interested. Like, my philosophy when it comes to video games is I play video games to experience things I can't experience in real life. So why on earth, in my mind, I'm going to earn some ire here from some groups, but why on earth would I play a sports game when I could just literally go out and play the sport? But Mario Strikers, well, you can't do that in real life, so that's kind of interesting. Moving on then, next, one of the next big things they showed was a little bit more about Salmon Run in Splatoon 3.
Steven probably lost his mind.
Yeah. I didn't look closely enough to see what sort of new stuff was there. It looked like they were introducing a few new enemies and some different weapons. One thing that looked really useful was that you can throw the eggs now. That's a nice thing, because it always sucked when you got ganged up on when you had a bunch of eggs to deliver. But anyway, I think that's all they showed was just the Salmon Run. It was probably my favorite mode in Splatoon 2 though, so looks like it could be pretty fun. I've got my eye on it, but it's not the biggest deal for me. It's unfortunate that Stephen can't be here to talk about this one, because he's the resident Splatoon fan, and this was a big deal for him. So
I'm always intrigued because it seems really cool, and maybe this one will be it. The new depth they're adding to Salmon Run looks neat. I'm intrigued.
Cool. All right, so let's scoot along to the next big one then. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. They introduced Mouthful Mode, which is a little unfortunate that they called it that. but it looks really cool, and it's given me some really strong Mario Odyssey vibes, and that's a very, very good thing. Like that's about as high praise as I can give this game right now. And it's looking real polished, real slick. You know, this introduction of these new mechanics just looks like it's basically a Kirby copy, if you will, of Mario's capture ability, but in a good way, not just like a stealing ideas way. It looks like this is kind of their answer to that in a way that looks like it will really fit well with the world. And so I'm excited for this one. If it's really still coming out next month, which I guess they haven't said anything otherwise, I'm definitely going to be picking this one up.
I wouldn't be surprised to find out if the Mario Odyssey team made this game. I mean, it looks so the quality and the ideas remind me of it so much that
I hope it ends up being as implemented as well as it looks like it could be.
Yeah.
The thing that made me laugh was seeing that from the trailer that you're rescuing Waddle Dees, and now there's a different thing that's an enemy, and I'm like, just watch that next cute enemy is someday going to become not enemy because it is cute.
Yeah, after some of the first trailers, like there's like a cute companion, and they're like, oh, you know, apparently Kirby fans were all like, oh, just you wait, that's a universe-destroying creature right there, or something.
Oh yeah.
And it's a standard in Kirby. The cuter it looks, the more powerful it is.
Yeah. Anyway.
So jumping on to the next. So speaking of us being sports game heathens, they announced Nintendo Switch Sports. And this is actually probably one of the biggest announcements that they made. I can acknowledge that without it being something that gets me particularly excited, because Wii Sports sold like gangbusters on the Wii. I mean, heavens, you'd find those all over the place. You know, a Wii with that game. You know, this is a no-brainer, and they're probably going to be printing money with this game.
I gotta complain real quick. The NPCs have ears. And the Mii's still don't have ears. It ticks me off. It just makes it even worse when I see what I could have that they refuse to let me have as a Mii. Anyway.
I think it's a good with the ears. And,
you agree about the ears, right? That's
yeah, and I agree that I think this is a good thing. I think that there's a lot of people that have picked up a Nintendo Switch that this will appeal to. I'm glad that the Switch this isn't the only kind of games it's brought. There's plenty for core gamers and casual gamers and families, and the Switch has a lot of good variety, and I feel like this will fit right in.
Okay, so scooting on for the rest of the big ones. So the next was the Booster Course Pass for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So this, for me, was kind of like a really good thing and also kind of a disappointing thing, because from my perspective, and I think Steven said this when we were chatting about it as well, that if they're doing this much DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, that probably means Mario Kart 9 is not coming anytime soon.
It's all worth it for Coconut Mall.
I saw them. No. That's the funny thing. When they announced the DLC packs and Coconut Mall was coming back, I'm like, Lisa's probably pretty happy about this.
I mean, they played the song. They knew which one was the best course.
I do remember Coconut Mall being probably my favorite from the Wii as well. So
I have to say, this DLC makes perfect sense to me. Like, I can understand why people are disappointed that Mario Kart 9, that obviously is not coming anytime soon. But considering how Mario Kart 8 Deluxe how much it has sold, how much it continues to sell, it wouldn't make sense for Nintendo to release a game that was just gonna come and cannibalize those sales, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's essentially a new game. I've read that it doubles the amount of courses that it currently has by the time the DLC's done.
Yeah, no, I'm honestly, I am not the biggest Mario Kart fan. My patience has worn pretty thin with the games recently, but this has made me wonder if, you know, I want to give it a second chance, because a lot of those courses that they were showing, I'm like, oh, I love that one. Oh, I love that one. Okay, maybe I'll be okay with this game. We'll see how long that lasts. But even if it's not for me, I mean, this is just going to be a shot in the arm for a game that's already, you know, selling without any signs of stopping. Then we go on to the last big announcement, and then we'll kind of touch on some of the smaller stuff after this. But I have to talk about this one.
No.
Okay, we're done.
I'm going to talk about this one.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was revealed during this direct. So when I saw the announcement for Xenoblade 3, I was screaming, shrieking, laughing hysterically, basically the whole time, because it just looks amazing. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I'm very excited for, but I'm also very, 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 very nervous that it's going to be more like Xeno 2 than the original, and I hope not. Because the trailer, it looks pretty good. It looks more like Xenoblade 1 than Xenoblade 2. Everyone looks normally proportioned. It looks a lot more like Xenoblade 1 than Xenoblade 2, and that for me is a very good thing, but I'm also very nervous. So I hope it's amazing because it looks amazing. I really desperately want to play this game, and it's in September. Anyway, I've probably made a lot of people think that I'm just ridiculous, but there you have it. I am provisionally extremely excited for this game.
Yeah, and I hope that it will be a game that both fans of
2 and 1
yes, thank you.
can enjoy.
So I want to jump in. I recently played Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. This is a brand new series for me, and I played it on the recommendation of Anthony and Lisa, who've been super fans for a long time, and it was great. I really liked it. It's one of the few games where like almost every place I went to in the game, I had to like stop and like pan the camera around and appreciate how creative and beautiful and unique some of the environments they imagined are for that game. And the story's great. If we get more of that, I'm gonna be happy. You know, I didn't even touch Xenoblade 2. Like I heard from Anthony and Lisa about the problems they had with it, and it's just like, you know, this is not something I'm gonna play. So it's gonna be the same here. If they are over the top like that again, then unfortunately I won't be playing it. But if they recapture some of that magic from the original Xenoblade Chronicles, then it's going to be a great year. I will say one thing, if that's all right. Advance Wars is a cult classic, basically. Like there's some super fans of those games, and so you know this release on the Switch is a pretty big deal for some people, and it makes me curious to check it out myself potentially. Something I loved about this direct is seeing some of these Nintendo IPs, lesser known ones, that still have their dedicated fans, seeing them get some love from Nintendo, and seeing these fans get some of that love. Like I really like seeing that from Nintendo. So
yeah, I'm gonna say some quick things. So number one, I was surprised to see No Man's Sky on here. I've heard that one's good, but I don't really know a lot. I'll be curious because I feel like I remember hearing it had a lot of online stuff, and with the way that Nintendo Switch Online is, I wonder how that will work. But I might be wrong. Also, it seems like everybody wants a piece of the Mario Kart pie, because now we have Disney and Pixar trying to make Mario Kart when we already had like Square Enix making
Chocobo
Mario.
GP.
I gotta say, Chocobo though. Like
Yeah,
I
I'm
might
excited.
need that game.
I might too.
Because Chocobo, and I will fight to be Chocobo. Anyway, and the next thing I was going to talk about was further down. So if anybody has anything to say about Chrono Cross, please do.
Yeah, I'll just throw it in there. I have never played Chrono Cross.
Started once.
I started once,
And you were like, "This isn't Chrono Trigger."
well, there was that. I think my other problem was just that, and maybe this is something that will still not change. So I don't know how strong my interest will be. I felt like the game punished me for playing because there are more permanent missables in the first few hours of this game than most games have in their entire runtime. And also, like, to get a lot of those missables, you kind of have to be like a super jerk against the leading female character. I'm just like, this game is punishing me for playing it anyway.
And for being nice.
But it's supposed to be exceptional. And so I'm very intrigued. It doesn't look like the most amazing remaster in the world from a visual standpoint, but maybe it's the perfect time for me to give it another shot.
Yeah, I have to admit, I was surprised when I heard it was a remaster, because when I looked over, like when I was doing stuff and I looked over to see it, I was like, oh, it's just a port. I was like, oh, it's not. Anyway,
if people had told me that this is if they hadn't said it's a remaster, I guess I would have thought it was just a port of the original. I mean, I never played it, but that's kind of the quality it looked like. Like, I couldn't tell what was remastered about it.
Yeah.
All right, and then next, I was shook when I heard that Portal and Portal 2 were coming to the Switch. Like, I wonder how that's gonna work, seeing as like I'm not sure they were originally PC, but that's where I bought them a while ago, and it will be interesting to see how they get it to work smoothly on the Switch. Maybe it will work just fine, but
I mean, these are old games.
Those are two games that are just like everybody sings their praises, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it is a pretty big deal. I think this is
That's a huge deal.
I think this is Valve's first foray into Nintendo territory too, so it's kind of a first there as well. But I've never played them, and I'm pretty interested to try it.
Yeah, Anthony, you and I might be the two people that haven't played them. So
zip through the rest real quick. My interest. Live Alive. It looks very interesting. At first, I wasn't too excited, but then I heard that the designer for Final Fantasy VI and the director, I think, for Chrono Trigger is working on this game, and also Yoko Shimomura did the music. And so I was like, whoa, ooh, okay, that just put it on the radar. Live Alive looks amazing. And the other thing that was kind of exciting was Earthbound coming to the Switch. I did, honestly, they psyched me out. I thought they were going to use that as a shadow announcement, like a shadow drop. We're finally localizing Mother 3. But I don't know why Nintendo is so against that idea, because I would play it. But apparently they hate it, and a lot of fans are very sad. But maybe this is a sign. Maybe them putting Earthbound on the Switch is a hint that, maybe it's coming. I don't know.
Well, Anthony,
Earthbound is my favorite one, so.
Yeah.
They have to announce the Game Boy collection for Switch Online first before they can do that.
That's true. That was the thought that went through my mind is, okay, well, maybe they're just saying they're starting to throw some breadcrumbs, and then they'll when they announce the GBA Online, then Mother 3 will be there. Who knows? We have 2 minutes. Does anyone want to say anything else before we basically conclude?
Yeah, one thought I had real fast. So I watched a video, somebody talking about Live Alive. What was exciting about the detail is that apparently it's being published in the West by Nintendo, I think, is something like that.
Uh-huh.
And that's notable because, first of all, this game never came to the West. Nintendo's the one doing it. So, maybe that's hints that Nintendo is opening their doors to bringing games that, like even the original Xenoblade was a big deal for it to come to the West.
Yeah, because they almost didn't.
Yeah.
Nintendo of America was like, we don't care about localizing these
And
niche
Deluxe.
JRPGs, right? That's the thought I had. Maybe that's another breadcrumb of hope for like games like Mother 3 getting localized. That's
Anyhow, so we're basically out of time, but I think overall I'd say this was a pretty solid direct. Kind of seemed like there was something for everyone, especially for us Xeno fans, provisionally in my case, I suppose. But I'm still super excited and really hopeful, and there's just a lot of good stuff coming this year. Okay, well, I'll just say, until next time,
Keep it nerdy.